Hello, welcome to Chess Prime. As part of this video, we are going to understand at the rate of qualifier usage along with at the rate of auto void. So basically, we are trying to use how we are trying to see how we are going to use the at the rate of qualifier in case of Spring Boot application. So before jumping into the application or example, so we'll just try to give a little theory about at the rate of qualifier. So basically, whenever you have a two implementation of an interface, which one we have to auto wire or which one we have to use. So in that case we are going to use the at the rate of auto qualifier, and we are trying to point a specific implementation of an interface. Say for instance we have an employee interface, and for the employee interface we have a two implementation. One is permanent employee and another one is contract employee. So how we are going to distinguish in case of specific interface which implementation we have to object auto wire, right? Which interface object we have to auto wire. So that's the problem we will be getting. So in that case, how we are going to resolve it while doing auto wire and a specific implementation for a given interface. So that is the main usage of the at the rate of qualifier. So without wasting time, let's create a simple example and then start using it. So as usual, we are going to use the a Spring initializer to create a simple Spring Boot application. So like you see in here, I selected Java Maven and the latest version, and I just filled out all the names, and along with that I have added two dependencies. One is Spring Web and Dev Tool, just to reload the automatically, and just click on generate. So it will be creating your project and copy it into your favorite location, unzip it, and then import into your Eclipse. So I'm going to import this into my Eclipse. Finish it. Yeah, so this is the project what you have created. If you come inside here, we can see this is a basic Spring Boot application, and we can see only here a Spring Boot main application, and we don't have anything else. So to understand this example, we are going to create a simple REST client. So I'm going to create a controller. So this we need to annotate as a REST controller, and inside that we are going to expose two APIs. One is for permanent employee and another one is for contract employee. So here I'm going to give permanent employee details, and then it will return the employee details. So let me annotate this one as a get mapping. So this API will return the permanent employee details, and similarly I want to return another API which will return the contract employee details. So basically we have a two APIs which will return the employee details of permanent and contract. So before returning the details, so how we are going to get the implementation, how we are going to get the corresponding details implementation over here. So for that I'm going to create another class called employee. So here I'm going to create an interface, not a class, interface. So let me recreate it. I'm going to create interface. So this is the interface I'm going to create, and this interface we are going to provide two kind of implementations, right? So let me give here MP details. So this is the interface, and inside the interface we have employee details. So this employee details can be permanent or contract. So to provide this kind of two different flavor of employee details, so I am going to override it. Sorry, I'm going to implement it. So this is one of the class which will implement the interface of permanent employee. So here we can override the abstract method, and you can provide here this is a simple way we are trying to implement it. We are not making any database call, we are not making any complex, because we need to understand here the corresponding usage of the @ qualifier. That's it. So remove this one, make it very simple. So we have implemented the interface with permanent employee class, and we are trying to use this one. So like I said, right, we have to use this class as a bean. So I'm going to create this as a component, right? So we have one component which will implement the employee interface as a permanent employee. So similarly, I'm going to create another implementation, contract employee. So here also you can implement the employee. So the implementation, I will just try to copy it from here so that we will not be wasting the time. So here I am going to mention in the contract, and again here this is also a kind of component, so we need to inject it as a bean. So basically here we have interface, and this interface is implemented by two classes, two concrete classes. One is permanent employee and another one is contract employee. So when we are trying to inject as an object by using auto so how can you implement, or how can you inject a specific object? So that is the main problem we are going to solve it. So how we are going to solve it, that we are going to use the @ qualifier. So let's come back to here. So I want to here employee. So one is p employee object, and similarly I want another object of contract employee. So if you see here, right, so I have two employees of same type, employee. So first let me get it over here, p employee dot employee details, right? Let me get employee details in my implementation. So this is the usage. So similarly I'm going to call it over here. So basically here, right, so this is the return. I have to return the employee details into respective APIs. So this permanent employee will call same employee interface and try to get the implementation. Similarly, contract employee also will call same interface and will try to get the details. But how you know which, when you try to use here auto what will happen? When I try to use auto so which implementation we have to auto here? It's permanent employee or contract employee. Similarly over here. So if I use auto directly, which implementation we have to auto here? So that is a confusion we will be getting over here. So let's see that one by running this application. We will see what kind of issue we will be getting over here. Yes, if you see, right, the application is failing to start because it's saying there is a multiple beans are available. So there is a multiple beans are available, but which is expecting one. There were two found. Required single, but it's found two. So which are the two employees? You can see here contract employee and permanent employee. It's trying to find two implementations, but for employee, but which one we have to use it. So that kind of problem will be getting, and it's failing to start the application. To, to resolve that issue, so we are going to use the at the rate of qualifier. So it's Spring already suggesting use at the rate of qualifier. So I'm going to use the at the rate of qualifier over here, and inside that you have to give the value. So what is this value? This is a very important point you can understand. So this is a permanent employee. So permanent employee, we have a implementation over here. So what is the cost of implementation? This you can take it, come back here, you can paste it, but here the first char should be lowercase. That is the way you can able to differentiate while doing auto wire. So you have to take the corresponding implementation and make the first character as lowercase. So in second case, this is contract employee, and come back here, paste it over here, just make it lowercase. So this is the way you can able to differentiate which object we have to inject or which object we have to auto wire in case of same interface if you use it, right? So now let me come back to your Spring Boot application, and I'm going to restart it again. Now see, we don't have any exception, so your Spring Boot application is running successfully, and let me access it. So now I'm trying to access the permanent employee. I'm getting the permanent employee details. Now I'm going to access the contract employee. Oops. So what I have done here, come back here. So here, in case of implementation, I am not changing the contract employee. So I just change the object reference here, and then my server is reloaded. Let me retry again now. Now I'm trying to call the contract and refresh. So you'll be getting the contract employee details. Now you want to try for permanent, refresh. So you'll be getting permanent. Again contract. So this is the way, by using the at the rate of qualifier, you can able to differentiate which object you have to inject in case of auto wire when you have a same interface same interface and which is having two different kind of implementation or two or more than one. So this is the way you can able to solve this problem by using at the rate of at the rate of qualifier and inject the specific implementation. So similarly, say for instance, if you are using the constructor, this is the property way of auto wiring, and you can use the constructor also to inject this kind of beans. So let me put it over here. In case if we are using constructor auto wire, so how we are going to deal the scenario in case of same object implementation with multiple, right? So you just comment it out. So in case of constructor auto wire, you just put over here. So you can mention over here first auto wire. So this is the basic thing, and then come back here. This dot p employee equal to p employee, and similarly you can give the reference to another variable as well, contract employee. So here basically previously what we had did, we have tried the property auto wire. Now I am trying to use the constructor as a auto wiring concept. So in this case I just try to do auto wire, but I am not mentioning here any qualifier. So which implementation we have to take in this interface and which kind of implementation we have to auto wire in this case. So it will fail. Let's see how it's going to fail it. In this case also we are going to expect the failure. So you can see here again we got same, required a single bean but it found two beans. So this is the same problem we will be getting over here. So to solve this problem in case of constructor auto wiring, so what you have to use, the similar kind of qualifier what you have used over here, you have to use at constructor side. Copy it and paste it over here. That's it. So now let it auto wire, let it auto load. It just auto loaded and you can see over here now your server is started successfully, and just come back here, you can access it. Permanent details, so you can able to access it. So this is the way you can able to use any wiring type. It could be property type, or it could be constructor injection, or you can use another way is setter injection as well. This is also same. So you just try to create setter injection mainly. So wherever you are doing setter, right, so you can do over here auto wire, auto wire. So I have commented out a constructor and property injection also I have commented out. So now I'm trying to use the setter injection for this fields auto wiring. So but I have not used any at the rate of qualifier. So if I try to start my application, so I'll be getting similar issue because application already retried. For restarting it's already failed. You can see over here it's found single, it found two but it's expecting single bean. So to solve this problem in this case, in case of setter injection, so what you have to do, you can use similar way, you can copy this qualifier definition and come back over here and you can paste it over here. Sorry, this is permanent. So this is the way you can able to differentiate. So which kind of implementation we have to inject over here. So similarly for second employee you can copy it, or contract employee you can paste it over here. So here we are looking for permanent employee, so you can use this name. So here we are looking for contract employee, so you can use this name, and then come back your console. So you can see here your server is started successfully without any issues. So this is the way you can use the at the rate of qualifier, whether in case of property injection or in case of constructor injection or in case of setter injection. So you can use all three places without giving any issues, and you can able to pick your corresponding implementation and assign to your interface, and you can start using it in your specific API. I think that's all about this main usage of the at the rate of qualifier. By using this you can able to distinguish which kind of implementation you have to auto wire when you have a multiple implementation for a given interface. Yeah, I think that's all about this video. And if you like the video, you can subscribe the channel for more subsequent videos. And thank you for your time. Thank you so much.